the Financial Sense Midweek Edition with Jim Paplava. Delving in depth with authors and experts into the key economic issues.
Joining me on the program today is Dave Morgan of the Morgan Report. And Dave, why don't we begin with the bullion itself? I have heard all kinds of explanations given as to why gold is where it is today versus where it should be, or at least where people thought it was going to be given QE3 and QE4. Now, I have some of my own thoughts, but I'd like to get your own.
Well, that drills right to, I think, the main topic that's debated more and more, and that's, the market manipulation. First of all, for the record, I believe almost all markets are manipulated, maybe not tick by tick, minute by minute, every part of it. I've been on record, I think on your show first, stating that, the overall trend can't be manipulated, but within the trend it certainly can be and has been. Jim, I want to digress to something that was sent to me years and years ago, and you'll get the idea as I read this letter from a floor trader that was sent to me, what we're talking about on this manipulation issue because of the price I'm going to read. It says, "Dear Mr. Morgan, I enjoyed your newsletter except for February 12th, which I found on the Kitco website. I guess I'm part of the problem. I've traded Comex futures aggressively for over 15 years. Over the years, the amount of futures contracts that we traded has surely dwarfed the actual physical market, making it difficult for silver to manifest its true fundamentals. As you alluded, it's Groundhog Day again on the floor. Over the past month, I watched one fund accumulate an eye-popping long position, and I followed its progress as best I could through the open interest and commitment figures. When prices started slipping away from last week's test of the 485 to 490 level, I could hardly believe my eyes when I saw early evidence that this fund was starting to sell. I went across the pit to the trader whom I knew was trying to stick with his longs, and I said, quote, I've got bad news for you. That selling you see over there, that will take 3 weeks, end quote. The fund sold heavily all last week. The usual bank traders were sopping it up, secretly relieved, I think, that prices failed to break into ground they could not control. Younger traders asked me how these funds kept getting chopped up like this. They don't realize that a 30-cent chop in silver is a minor inconvenience compared to the strong positions most of these guys have in gold and crude. As you know, the banks will continue to play puppet master as long as the silver game remains quote-unquote closed.